What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here with a special guest, Dr. Mike.
Oh, that was.
Hey, Mike, how's it going, buddy?
I'm just regular Mike.
Hey, you're just regular Mike. We got the PhD in the house. We got the bodybuilder. We're talking today all about hypertrophy. Oh, fancy. We filmed a bunch of stuff with Boris Shako. We got a big project on the way. And we were just talking a little bit recently about bodybuilding. You were talking about training for more pure hypertrophy. People kind of get a little twisted where they always try and combine both. A la power building, they say they want to get stronger, they also want to build more muscle. We want to talk specifically about those that just want to train for aesthetics. Maybe some of their biggest mistakes. You do Renaissance periodization. Just tell us a little bit about that. You've coached a lot of people that want to get a big. Tell me a little bit about that. Yeah, just big muscle guys.
Strong guys or something?
Stuff, dude.
What is this, like strong guys and stuff like that?
So tell us a little bit about Renaissance, and then let's go into the mistakes you've seen.
So Renaissance Periodization at RP Strength on Instagram is our little old mom and pop company.
Yeah.
And we have a staff of like 20-something like PhDs and medical doctors and all these other folks and high-level athletes, and they're coaches for us. And we also make training templates where we write books and give seminars and stuff like that about just the science behind fat loss, muscle gain, nutrition, hypertrophy, etc. And my hypertrophy training is one of my hobbies, so to speak, and I compete not very successfully yet in bodybuilding. But I do see a lot of individuals, because I train like a regular gym with my training partner. We do have the opportunity to observe quite a few mistakes in hypertrophy training. I think the first huge mistake I can think of is not really, you tell people you want to train for hypertrophy, but you don't really believe that yourself. So you keep going back to training for other stuff and trying to pretend that it belongs in a hypertrophy program. Yeah. So like somebody will tell you like, I want muscle size, I just want size. You're like, okay, you sure you don't want some element of peak strength in there, maybe some speed, maybe some general fitness? And they're like, no, I just want to get jacked and lean. You're like, oh, sweet. So you give them suggestions for programming, or maybe even write them a program. And like 3 days or 3 weeks later, they're like doing plyos and sprint drills and strongman stuff. And you're like, so why are you doing that? They're like, I just want to kind of be athletic. I just need to move. You know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, that was always cool.
Yeah. Could have mentioned that before.
Said that.
Yeah.
And there's kind of schizophrenia sometimes about training where people just kind of want to do it all. And there's nothing wrong with doing it all, but there is something wrong with not so much telling people you want to do something, but really believing that you're dedicated to a goal and then wandering off at the expense of the quality of the goal. Like if you want to build a race car, don't put like child seats in the back and get a huge trunk unless you want a really fast minivan, and then that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you really like, oh no, race car, and then you start putting child seats in the back, people are just you're going to be confused as to why you're not winning races.
Sure.
So a lot of people say, well, I want to do physique, but I also want athleticism, etc. That's totally fine. Obviously, you're going to get less of everything, but you're going to understand that you're getting a measure of something. So I think choosing a goal that is logical and designing a program based on that goal and then sticking with that program is a really, really big deal. And I think a lot of people just start doing something and then they get bored with it.
Yeah. They want to believe they can have it all too. When you tell, and I've made a few videos like in the past year kind of just saying, look, if you want to gain pure strength, become as strong as possible, you're going to train differently than if your goal is pure hypertrophy.
When you're going to sacrifice some other things.
You have to sacrifice it, but people
at least
can't
some time.
Yeah.
You could be really good at physique for a couple of months and then peak to be really good at strength for a couple of months, but at the same time, you're just not going to have a large measure of both and not nearly as large as you want in any case.
Okay.
So
I think it's a combo of ADD. That's just America's culture, right? You want this and then you want this. And then I also think it's a lack of information, a lack of knowledge, where people think I go to the gym and I train, but they don't understand training for this is kind of, yes, a barbell can help all this, but how you use that barbell, frequency, volume, in what manner may lead you towards a different goal in months.
Totally. It's almost like, two kinds of individuals would view a construction site. People who are not design engineers for buildings would look at a construction site and it's got, sand that's been dug out and there's machinery and they're like, oh, they're building something, this is great. But like an actual skyscraper design engineer would look and be like, well, that pit's definitely not tall enough to support a skyscraper, because that person actually knows that construction generally is pointless. There's always goal oriented.
Yeah.
So like, for example, you see a lot of this with max lifting, right? People will be like, doing volume, but I'm going to hit a big single first. And you're like, why? And like, and they kind of try to pretend in their head
I want to feel the heavy weight.
Well, it's all they're like, yeah, that helps you like grow, certain other kind of fiber, and you're like, no, it doesn't. You're just tiring yourself out for no reason. So it's one of those. It's just like, it's cool. Whatever goal you have, make that goal, stick to that goal. When you accomplish it, check it off the calendar and get onto your new goal. So that's mistake number one.
Not sticking to one goal, which is the goal we're talking about here. Is
picking a goal, designing a program optimized or an attempted optimization for that goal instead of just being like, yeah, hypertrophy. And you find yourself doing something else. And people are like, so what about hypertrophy? You're like, yeah, no, this is it. Like, no, you're just lying to yourself. Yeah. Another goal is just not, and this is super common, this has been talked about for forever, but a lot of people say, everyone, there's people new to it and they don't know. Some people old to it, they don't know. Matching your eating to your goals. Especially if you're already lean and you're like, you weigh 130 pounds, you're like, I want to put on size. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to do that without eating a hypercaloric diet. And some individuals have this relationship with their body fat levels where they're unwilling to accommodate a slightly higher body fat level for any point in time. So like, look up some totally ridiculous YouTube bullshit to try to justify their shit. Be like, no, I'm gonna lean gain. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, yeah, because people actively try to gain fat. What's wrong with you? Like, yeah, sure, you want to gain as much muscle as little fat as possible, but there's an inherent trade-off there. You're gonna have to eat a lot more food sometimes than you want. You're gonna have to do so consistently. You're going to have to gain a measurable amount of weight. There's nobody that is jacked that weighs 120 pounds or 135. I'm sorry. Like, you want to be jacked, you're gonna have to weigh 180. And the road from with 160.
We're almost there, buddy. 180. He gave it to us.
You're literally almost too jacked. So, if you weigh 165 and you want to be really big, you're going to have to eat more and gain weight while executing proper hypertrophy training. So, and some people are willing to do the training, but they're not either willing to do the eating or they think it's an important feature. Sometimes people just don't even think it through. Like, how is it that you're going to get jacked when you only eat whatever? And they're like, well, I don't want to lose my condition. Well, then you're just not going to get jacked.
Yeah. Again, focusing on one goal. It's like if your goal is to build more muscle, you have to also then potentially lose a little bit of that conditioning or your body fat level because it's going to increase a little bit as you eat more food.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then I think the last mistake, it's just like a very general mistake. It's almost just a mistake in thinking. People don't take an appropriate amount of time to see their goals through.
Yeah.
It's almost like I used to do a lot more coaching personally back in the day. You would give someone a hypertrophy program to build up their base. And then you would give them a strength program and then, of course, a peaking program to realize their abilities in powerlifting, weightlifting, whatever. And I had several clients test their maxes, without my approval, of course, after the hypertrophy plan. And one guy's like, yeah, my maxes are like the same, and one of them even went down.
Yeah.
Like, God, you've been doing 10s. What the fuck is wrong with you? Of course it went down.
You're tired.
You're tired, and your nervous system's like, what the fuck is a 1RM? I've just been conserving my energy to 10. I mean, it's a totally different training environment. So with hypertrophy, you get a similar thing where people will do like 3 weeks of high volume, and they're like, yeah, man, I feel so much bigger, because they have the pump, they have intramuscular water retention from damage. They'll take a deload week, and then their muscles will shrink down.
Bro, I love
and they're like, I don't know, man.
This
Like,
coach sucks.
I don't know. I don't think it's working. It's like, you don't get jacked in a month, you dumb asshole. Like, you have to do this shit. I mean, if you're a beginner, after 6 months, you're going to see some good shit.
Yeah.
But I've seen people quit after this just unbelievably nominal amounts of time, and you're just like, I don't know. And there's this. I got to rant about this.
Go.
There's a certain type of person. You guys know the people that you walk onto an airplane and you see what people are doing as you walk on, and someone's scrolling on their Instagram so fast, for a fucking fact they don't see a fucking thing. They're just compulsively scrolling. I got to get through everything, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? There's people like that approach training and diet just like that. They're like, I'm gonna try this, and some of these people when they find out you're an expert or something, and you guys are, they'll catch your ear and be like, oh, do you want those lift for people? Yeah, what do I do to get jacked? I tried this program, it didn't work. What do I do?
Yeah.
What do you think? 4 weeks, this and that. And they either drop some names GP, Shaco.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 by 10. What do you think of German volume training? Every one of these motherfuckers always asks, what do you think of German volume training? They go fuck yourselves is what I think. It's not a trick that's gonna. German volume training is something you can do modified style to your own individual needs.
Not what my trainer said.
That's right. He's dead now from German volume training. But it's one of those things. It's not about acronyms and words, you dumb motherfucker. It's about putting together a logical program that has elements, sure, of German volume training, sure, of GP, and you fucking pound that shit for fucking months and months and months, and then you see really solid, not magical gains. You take a little break, do some strength training, and then you fucking hit that shit again. And after years, you're going to be super jacked, and people are like, so what program? Some other motherfucker's going to come up to you and be like, so you did 10 by 10?
They're going to punch him right in my face. Fuck your Germans.
That's right.
I'm gonna call this segment Raw with Dr. Mike. I like it because
that's oddly sexual title.
Well, not oddly, we're on the couch.
Oh, that's true.
I was just thinking about it.
Appropriately sexual title.
Yeah, I go on rants about perspective, and I think that's what you're talking about. This last thing. It's programming can be very complicated to understand many aspects of it. But when you're talking about the first layer and then a second layer, and whether you periodize or not, everything kind of builds on itself, and you have to understand. You have to understand the final goal and how many steps it takes to get there. It's like a GPS on your maps. Like, I need to get over there, but you can't just go there. There's buildings.
No,
in the way.
you don't understand. I want to get there now.
Yeah, you have to go left, and then you're gonna go right. We might have to hop on the freeway and get off.
Different kind of GPS that just takes me right there? Because that's what I want.
Uber is making a helicopter thing here in LA.
Really quick, sorry, one last thing. I love when people are like, hey, I want to get jacked, but I want it to be fast. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do other people want it to go slow? Everyone's trying to get as fast as possible.
I'd like to take the next 30 years to look like I live.
Like,
I'm gonna go faster
who
than
said
you.
like,
I wanna
yeah,
get it
exactly.
yesterday.
Someone's like, oh, I don't want to get super jacked, and I just want to go slow and just fucking eke out meager gains and get her all the time. Nobody says that shit. Like, you're not special. Put in the work.
Well, guys, that is the video. We got Dr. Mike with special guest Silencio Michael.
Call me Little Mike.
Little Mike, if that's what you prefer.
Well, what do you talk about, perverts?
I was just talking about your vertical jump. I don't know what we're talking
that's
about.
Big Mike.
I need an adult.
I need an adult.
That's at least 38 inches.
If you guys like
The vertical
this video,
perverts.
if you like, I'm gonna call Raw with Dr. Mike, where we were just talking about different video topics. We're gonna be going far more in depth. But guys, if you want to see more content featuring Dr. Mike, make sure to like the damn video. Where can people find you?
At RP Strength is Renaissance Periodization's Instagram. At RP Dr. Mike is where half-naked photos of me and pictures of my shitty food that I eat. Or actually, so I have an individual cooking food for me now, meal prep, and those meals are amazing.
Yeah.
And then the shit I make myself, you will clearly be able to see what is that I make myself. It looks like dog shit usually. And Mike Israetel on Facebook.
Yeah.
Come troll me, follow me, ask me plenty of questions. And then renaissanceperiodization.com for all product services, etc. Physique templates to get jacked, nutrition templates to get also jacked.
Yeah, if you are interested in building muscle, definitely check out all those links. They will be in the description, and we'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.